Alright, so we got the 2012 Nissan Juke 1.6 Turbo. Well, she's up in the air, and guess what? Well, same thing that happened to the 2011 Nissan Murano about 2 years ago. We gotta replace the rear drive shaft U-joint, and obviously you just can't go to the parts store and buy it. You gotta go on the internet and hunt for these parts, unless you want to buy the whole driveline assembly. It's like $400, $300. It's just unbelievably. There's no part for this universal, but that's what we're doing. I'll show you here what we're doing. And we got it up in the air a little bit there, and you can see we got blocked up really well and everything. Now we'll go in the back here. I'm going to show you what I've done so far. I've gone ahead and started taking these this universal out. I got to get the bolt out of here. I wanted to show you there are 4 of these guys here on that universal. They're 14 millimeter nuts and bolts that you can take out. And if we go up under here, you can see I got it partially taken out right now. It's a little light, maybe that'll help. Well, a little bit. But nevertheless, there is the universal. And if I move it, it's really hard. It won't even, you can kind of hear it too. So when I was driving it, I kept hearing something. It sounded like something hitting the drive shaft. It was making this kind of tinny noise, ting, 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 ting. But when I slowed down, I can kind of feel it. So the front part of the drive shaft, which I've had disconnected because I redid the whole CVT transmission, I rebuilt it. It was okay. This back here I couldn't take apart, and I thought, well, I'll just drive it. Then about 200 miles, it started giving me some problems. So this is what we got to replace, and you can see right here, they kind of stake these in. They put little marks to hold this in. Stupid light won't stay there. There we go. This is the problem that we have with these. So the new ones they sell, you push this universal out, and there's little clips that go on the back side on the inside, and that's what we got to be replacing, little clips on the inside. So we got to push this out when the other one comes in. And the one I found was $60. I mean, these parts are so hard to find, and there's no one on the market making lots of these for vehicles that you can just go out and buy and replace the same day. So I did find one on eBay. So that's the story there. But what I'm going to do in the meantime, until it comes in for a couple of days, I'm not going to videotape this. I'm going to clean some of the grease off of this little seal here, and see if I can maybe open this up with this pick and shoot some oil in there and loosen this up a little bit more. Maybe get another couple of days out of this local driving, because this is the only thing I got. The only thing I got to drive is this, and I got to work on my other vehicle, and I can't work on that and have this like this, because if this breaks, I'm kind of, you know, up a creek. So I did make a mark here on that, and I got to make another mark here so I'll know which way it goes and all that. So that's what we're into. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this universal all the way out without taking out the exhaust. The only thing I have to do, there's a heat shield up here, where I don't know, some kind of a shield. We got to get that out and take the bolt out of the center carrier bearing. Then once we get the carrier bearing loose, I'll take the 4 bolts out of the front of the universal, and this whole thing will slide out in this direction. I should be able to get it out. But in the meantime, I just wanted to start the video off by doing this here. So I got 130,000 miles out of this universal, I do believe, and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, wasn't for those being like kind of staked in, I believe that's what they call it. You see those little marks there where they kind of just put little grooves in there to keep it from coming out. They were too lazy to cut in a groove on the outside to put a ring so you can put a regular universal on it. But what are you going to do? So alright, so we'll be back a little bit later. We'll go ahead and start taking the rest of this out. Alright, so we're going to take this shield off here, but what I did put 1 bolt back in the differential back there where the universal is, to kind of keep the drive shaft off so it wouldn't fall down on this. So these clips here, you just basically take a screwdriver like this and kind of turn them, and they will come off. And there is 4 of them, and then we got a bolt down here on the bottom. Yeah, see if you can see it down here. There's a bolt. We get this shield off, slide it out, then we don't even have to worry about this exhaust. We can just take this right off, which will be great. And let's see what this bottom one back here is. Looks like a 10. Let's see, that's a 12 millimeter. I should have shot some oil in there. Let me go get some oil. Alright, so we'll go ahead and take our heat shield off. And we got all the clips and bolts out. Pretty easy to take out. And now I got the carrier bearings, the carrier bearing here just about ready to come out. These are 9/16, and I've already got the front drive shaft bolts out. They were really easy. And if I spin the camera around, I don't know, maybe you can see it up in there. Kind of see them. You can see them, trust me, you can see it a lot better on the other side. But those are out, and a couple bolts there. And all you gotta do now, really, if I can move this camera, because I don't have a lot of room under here without bumping it, is go ahead and take out this last carrier barrier bolt. Say that 3 times fast. Carrier barrier bolt. Bearing bolt. There we go, maybe. I don't know if the camera's focusing, but anyway, we'll see if we can get this out of here. Jeez. Alright, then we should be able to slide everything straight backwards without even worrying about the exhaust. So, alright, so there you go. It's just about out. I don't know why I can't get a good light. Alright, so that bolt nut is out. And I use some used oil. Grease these up. Looks like the camera's not focusing very well, but you can see what I'm doing, I think. And there's that nut. Take that off. And now we'll take our hand and kind of lift up on that. And our drive shaft is ready to come out. I have to go back in the back and take off that last bolt back there in the back. Alright, so there's the back into the drive shaft, and you can see it goes all the way up to the front, and I should be able to slide it straight out. This is great because you don't have to worry about, you know, taking off the exhaust and everything. And see up there's the carrier bearing, and above that is the above that it looks like that is the back of the drive shaft coming out of the sort of transfer gear case up there. So alright, so I'll go ahead and slide this out of here. And that way I can still drive it in 2-wheel drive until this bearing comes. I did find it. It's $60, yeah, and it's still not here. It's been a week, so we'll talk about that when it gets here. So let me get this out. You can just watch me pull it out, because I know somebody are going like, oh, he doesn't do his own work. He has somebody else does it for him, like some YouTubers. No, I do my own work. I'll slide this out now. Oh, got it. Alright. Get the shield out of the way. Alright. Just about got it. There. Well, that's pretty cool. Alright. Get that out of the way, and we'll look at it here in a minute. Take my last bolt here and not lose that. Alright, so we'll just take this in the garage and look at it real quick. Alright, so there's the drive shaft. Here's the front. It's, I don't know, I'm going to probably have to replace it soon. Get my balance here. That feels, I can kind of feel a little bit there. This is fine here, but I can feel just a little bit of resistance and something trying to catch. Luckily, this is pretty straight angle. It's not like in a really bad angle. If it was a really stiff angle, hard angle, it would probably fail a lot quicker. And let's see, do they look like they're the same? Let's see. They feel like they're about the same. Hold the camera straight. Carrier bearing's fine. So I can spin it. Yeah, it's perfect. It's in good shape. But yeah, we'll probably have to find one for that. So anyway, we'll come back here a little bit later once we get some parts in and all that good stuff. I'm getting ready to take out this universal, and you gotta really take your time at it, because if you don't, you're going to end up breaking this little guy. I got one shot at this, and the only way I was going to try to use that tool set, but there's nothing there that'll work. So here's what I got set up now. I'm hoping it'll pop that out of there. I don't know, it's kind of an angle because this is not exactly square and this kind of tilts to the left a little bit. So we're going to set this up here and see if this will do any good. If we can get the breakthrough, that would be wonderful. So let me go ahead and put some pressure on it. I think it went. Yeah, it popped it out. I was lucky there. Wow. I've already made marks on here, so I know how it goes back together. Alright, so let me take this apart here and see how far it went down. This is a socket upside down here. Smaller socket here pushing in on that. Alright, after a bunch of pounding and putting a socket over it, this is a 15/6, what is this? 15/16 socket. Over top of that, hitting it with a hammer slightly, I was able to move this sideways enough to pop this out of here. So this one seemed to be a little more difficult than the other one was. So now I just gotta slide this over, knock this one out. I was hoping I think some of the needle nose bearings there fell over sideways and gave me a little more space. And I was able to knock it up this way further. So, but anyway, you have to play around to see what works best for you, taking these apart. But now, go ahead and see if I can get this other side out. I did put a little oil in here to kind of help it. So I'm going to put the socket up here and see if I can tap this one out. Alright, we'll try it and see if this will work. Probably got to knock this out a little bit farther here. Oh, okay. That actually worked. I didn't think it would work, but now I can just get a pair of pliers on here and grip it. It should come off pretty easy. I'll hit it a couple more times. Oh, okay. Live action. There you go. Alright, like I said, gotta have a lot of patience, especially putting these together. Alright, let's go ahead and get this off of here. Alright, we've got our white marks there, and now all we gotta do is press this one out just like we do that other one on the press there. Now I'll tell you one thing I did do. I took a Dremel tool and I went in here and kind of cleaned this up a little bit just to make the other one go in a little bit easier. Not a lot, just enough to get the surface rust and dirt off. And as you can see now, the new one here fits right in there, nice and snug. So, yep. So just, you know, you don't have to, but it really does make it easier. And I did, before I pushed these out, I did go in there and kind of clean up a little bit. Try to get these stake marks out of the way to make it a little bit easier, but you may not have to do that. But yeah, a little bit of cleaning there doesn't hurt, that's for sure. Alright, so we'll try to get this one out. I got a socket under there, and if you notice, it's not perfectly, this drive shaft kind of tapers in here, kind of like this, so it's not 100% flush under there. I think you can see that, but it should work. I've got my socket on the top, and see if we can break this one loose, hopefully. There we go, it broke loose. So we'll go ahead and push it all the way down as far as we can get it. Sorry about that, just the angle of the light. Alright, so that's as far as that'll go. So we'll take this over there in the floor and try to get it set up. So you just got to use various sockets, various means of experience, and ways to try to get this out the best you can. So let's take this over there now, and also maybe a couple chairs. Who knows? But this is the only press I got. Alright, in order to get this cap out far enough to even grip on it or anything like that, I'm taking a punch. And actually been kind of hitting it right about here on the inside, just enough to get on the edge of that cap to knock the rest of the way through with some oil and some vice grips. Should eventually be able to get it. And same thing on this side, put some oil on there, some used oil, and knock this back and forth until you can actually grip it. It's not easy, but it does come off eventually. Alright, so these caps have been a pain, and you know what, to get off. So I got this one off here. The problem is they only stick out so far no matter how far you push this back and forth. So what you got to do, get you a little sharp punch, knock them the rest of the way out. Kind of get it here on the bottom like this, stick it down in there where the cap is. And that should knock it the rest of the way out. You go ahead and put this down in there. That'll help it start it. Or now you can just go ahead and knock it out the rest of the way. Like that. Pain though, you know what, but we got it. And we didn't do any damage to this. That's great. So there's the carnage. That Murano I did 3 years ago, I didn't have this much problem getting these out, but this one I got it. So we'll clean this up, and it'll make it a little bit easier to push these in. So hey, there you go. Alright, I think you can see that. So what I've done, I've cleaned this up really good where these caps just kind of push in. I actually had to put this piece in first, put a cap in, slide it in, and that way you know this is in. Then slide this that way a little bit and put this cap in. And now I can go both ways, like that and like this. And those caps will slide on, because you got to watch those needle bearings. It's a little tedious. Now I'm just going to take my regular old C-clamp here and kind of squeeze this together slowly, because this is $60. I don't want to have to mess this up, you know. Alright, that side's going. Now I can still turn it, which is what I want. Okay, there we go. That's in. Feeling good. Alright, we'll stop there. Not quite all the way, but I want to go ahead and flip it around and do this side with a clamp. Get this started here. Feels good. Goes all the way in. Yep. Both sides. So I know the needle bearings didn't get, you know, go cockeyed or anything. Still feels good. I think we're pretty much all the way in. Let me just back this off a little bit and check everything. Put it in the center. Feels good. Oh boy, that was a kind of nerve-wracking. Alright, so I think you can see that. It's pretty much in. I got to see how this got a little groove right here where the clip goes in. I got to move that just a little bit that way so we can put that clip in on that side. And we put our grease fitting right there. And we got our mark there and all that. So let me go ahead and kind of center this and put these clips in. Alright, so after about an hour, it's on. And I got the clips. They actually go on the outside down like this. And there's just enough of that clip that goes about halfway around on each side. And on this side. That'll keep that from coming out from either side. And that's all that is. So it's a little tight. Not terribly, but it's smooth. But once you drive it and all that, put some oil in it, it'll loosen up a little bit. So now we'll go ahead and get this in here and all that. So it's a tight fit, but it does go, and you can see right there how the clip goes down. You may have to try it a couple times to get it straight, because I found it going cockeyed a couple times. You like that word, cockeyed? and the clip would end right here. But you want it down a little farther. You want it kind of like this. Just tap it down on her gently. So anyway, I'm going to try to get the other half side. I've decided to go ahead and order one for the front up there, that one up there. It's getting bad, so I might as well just do it while it's out. So I've got some time. So hey, let me know where you're watching from right now, and hopefully this video might help you out. Maybe I'll get 7 views, I don't know. I just want those caps to go in as easy as possible. You can take some fine sandpaper and go in there and clean that up a little bit. It'll just make it a little bit easier to start everything. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Alright guys, I don't know how much you're going to be able to see, but we'll see if we can at least show you how I'm starting this. Yeah, and these slide in easy, so I got the one on the bottom started. So I'll put this in like this. That in there like that. Try to. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and just tap it. Alright. That's kind of started there. Now we'll see if we can get this one started. Alright. Alright, I got that one started. That one seems started. Alright, so I think this one, this one over here is good. And feels good. Seems good. Alright, we'll go ahead and start squeezing them together a little bit. Hopefully none of the bearings fell out. I was real gentle with it. We'll see. Seems okay. See, I like that. That goes in real easy like that. Let's see. That's good. I'm going to try the other side. That feels good. I think this cap went sideways. Yeah, I need to tap it just a little bit. There we go. Alright, I think we're good on both ends here, so we'll go ahead and finish tightening this. Work it down a little bit more. Alright, so I think we're going to be okay here. I'll go ahead and push the rest of this together on camera, off camera I mean. Alright, what a nightmare. Not so much, I guess not so much a nightmare, it's just nerve-wracking because you don't want to mess anything up. So I got the clips in. Just get you a good vantage point here. You see the clip right there, it's in. I actually started it like sideways like this. Had this old file and help push that in there like that. But you gotta be careful, it'll go boom. You don't want to lose it. So it feels perfect. So that clip, where they designed these new universals, that clip just has enough room to go around there on both sides, because if it has to go any further, you see how the yoke is kind of at an angle. It won't go any further backwards. So that seat clamp, that clamp, I guess you go to seat clamp, I don't know, clip they made just goes halfway around. But the nice thing is it's nice, feels really good, no more bad places in it. So yeah, it may take you a while. Just be careful in the press. When you're pressing these out, don't put too much force on it. That's what I'm trying to say, because you could squeeze this here, this section, and this will throw this whole thing off. So just make sure you put enough pressure on here to take these out of here, and don't squeeze. I'll use my foot, I guess. I don't know. And don't squeeze this here in. because this is set perfect for these universals. I guess there's somebody somewhere making these. That's why they're $60 a pop. And all that. So, alright, so all I gotta do is grease it. I got my grease fitting in there. I gotta tighten that up a little bit and all that. Like I said, I'm gonna order the front one. I'm gonna do it. I'll do it off camera. But if you can do one and you can, you know, do the other, you just gotta be careful. Like I said earlier, make sure when you're putting these in here that the needles, the little needles here, you know, like these guys, little tiny thing. One of these don't fall out. If it falls off sideways, it gets behind this cap, and this will not let this cap close up like it's supposed to, so you can get these clips in there. So I don't know. I think you know what I'm saying. But anyway, we'll come back when this is all done, I guess, and I'm not going to bother showing you on that one up there on camera. You know, you can pretty much do the back one. You can do the front. All right, so this part is pretty much apart and cleaned up. This goes up toward the engine, of course, and I had a hard time getting this one out. If you can get these caps back far enough in here, let's say if you get it knocked back that far, then usually you can just pull this straight up and out like this. That's the thing that you should be able to do, but it's so tight in here, even that won't go back in, or hardly all. If I forced it in there, it would go back in there. But that's how I got that out. Got this cap clear out, knocked it out with the punch. Little guy like this, kind of got it on the edge of the cap, like right here. And then once it moves a little bit, then you can get it in there a little farther and push down on that cap and knock it out. That's how I'm doing it. If you have a better way to do it, hey, knock yourself out, make a video, and show us all how to do it. But on these staked universals, they are just so tight. But you can get them out if you just kind of play around with it. So now I'm just waiting to order for my other ones to come in. I ordered them tonight. They were $60. These are all cleaned up and pretty much ready to go to put this one here in, and we'll be completely done with this drive shaft. So I don't know, hopefully this video will help you out, but that's how I did it. There's no right, there's no wrong way. I'm trying to say, I'm gonna try that again. 3, 2, 1. There's no right way, there's no wrong way to do this. You just got to work with this and try to get it apart with the best methods that you can do. So you kind of just got to experiment and see what works best for you with your tools that you have and all that. And this method seems to work pretty well for me. So other than that, yeah, waiting on our new universal, hopefully. All right, everyone, we're back 2 weeks later, and we got half of it done. Boy, she feels really good with that new one. And guess what came in the mail today? Ta-da! Here's the other one. Now, there's not a part number. You just got to go on eBay, punch in what you're looking for, what universal and vehicle, and you'll just see these will pop up. So that's all I can tell you. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and stick this on here. I'll probably do half of it off camera, and I'll come back when I'm just about finished, and we'll wrap this thing up. And I'll probably use my little C-clamp to kind of push that in there. Take your time, make sure everything's nice and clean, and do it in an environment in case one of these clips fly off when you're trying to push it on there. If it flies off, you can find it. So just be very careful for that. So let me go ahead and set this up. Alright, after about 20 minutes, I got this in. I got this clip on right here. Now, I'll show you a little trick. You're not going to see this on YouTube anywhere else. Get you a small pair of vice grips and grip this really tight and push it on like this, because I find that these, it goes on so much easier than trying to get a pair of pliers or something and knocking it on there. So what I'm going to do is readjust this just a little bit. Get it nice and tight, and it should go on there fairly easy. There we go. Just be careful when you let go of it. It doesn't spring out. Keep your finger on it and get you a little pinball, ping pong hammer like this and tap it the rest of the way on there. It looks fairly good. I might have to take this socket here and just kind of tap on it there. There we go. There we go. all the way in, and she works really good and all that. So that's one way you can get that on there. So yeah, all right, I'll knock this back and forth just a little more off camera. Then all I really have to do is put this on. So it's going slowly. And probably the most important thing is when you're done, just kind of go on both sides like this. This relieves any stress. This makes this work really nice. There we go. That's what I want to see. Alright, so hopefully I'll have the same look with this side. Getting it on there. It feels really good, and right there is where I'll put my little grease fitting. Right about there. Alright, let me get the other side on. Alright, so this is all done after another 20 minutes or so. Yeah, I've already got grease in there. Now, obviously on this side you just can't take these and push those clips in, so what you do is take a clip, hold it right here, and just take a big screwdriver. When you get it right about here, just kind of push it in like this, that you're kind of holding it, and it'll snap in. Go ahead and put one side of this in a lot farther so the clip is easy to get on. Then when you put the clip on, then knock it back on the other side and do the same thing. Then knock it back and forth until it works really well. So now all I gotta do is put it back on the old Juke. Alright everyone, we're out on a fall scenic drive. Lots of trees here and a forest, you know. Got some color out there on the mountains, but the drive shaft's in. I've been driving it for about, oh gosh, I don't know, 800 miles. And she's nice and quiet. No more noise. I even got my all-wheel drive system on and everything. I got a button down here that I push for all-wheel drive, and if you look on the panel there, you'll see when it comes on and all that good stuff. Let's see if I can find it. Sometimes I can find it when I'm driving. See, there's that one. And you got the all-wheel drive. I'm not sure what that is. Something about shows the percentage of the torque to the wheels through the system down here. But we're just going to leave it in two-wheel drive. So it'll be fun to drive in the snow this winter, but it's nice and smooth. I don't have any vibrations, and I really don't have any complaints so far. The CVT seems to be doing all right, but we'll see. After I rebuild it, we'll see how well it lasts. But anyway, the more and more I drive the CVTs, the more I kind of like them. But it's like anything else in life. It's a learning thing. So anyway, we'll stop up here and give it a look underneath of it real quick up by the lake. And even on the bumpy roads, it's pretty quiet. So we'll pull into the lake here. We're having a drought here. We've had like 3 hurricanes and they've all went around us. It's so hard to get moisture up here, but this lake should be full clear over to the dock. And it's bone dry. Look at that. Wow, that's crazy. We'll walk out here real quick, but I just wanted to drive up here and get a good look at the car, let you have a listen to it, how good it sounds. I'm glad I did do both universals, because it did make a difference. I had no idea the front one was bad also. That little 1.6 fuel injected, well, it's direct injected turbo. Back here's the turbo. Although I got to take that line off on the turbo back here and let her idle and put it, see if it's draining, see if it's pumping oil up to the turbo, because that line has a problem. Sometimes it gets clogged up. But yeah, sounds good. Had to buy a battery the other night at Walmart. It left me stranded, but I got a brand new battery now for winter. Anyway, it's a nice look at it on this beautiful mid-October day. So let's go out here to the lake. You guys want to see something crazy? I don't think you've ever been here before, but the water should be, well, should be like up to here, like over through here. It's like way down there. It should be like, well, here's the floating dock. So, you know, we're having a drought. Maybe worst drought in probably 50 years. You can see where the dock is. It's like bottomed out here. Yeah, I know, I got away from the car content for a second, but I just wanted to show you. See, we should have all the water all the way up into here, below the trees out there, but it's about 15 feet deep, 15 feet low. There's the dock. We're standing on it. So anyway, just wanted to show you on this fall day here in West Virginia. So anyway, way out there, way out there. It was supposed to take a lot of rain to get this filled back up the way it should be. I've never seen it like this. I've lived here all my life, mostly. Anyway, all right, let's get back to the car. All right, so I hope this content helped you guys out on this drive shaft. I know a lot of these cars that come from overseas, you know, Japan, wherever, you know, Nissans, they have the universal staked in there, so you just can't go out and buy one to Napa AutoZone or whatever. You have to basically look them up and find people who are actually making these so you can fix them like the way I did. So, thanks for watching, guys. And until my next video, I'll see you later.